What's up, guys? It's me from the future. I recorded this video literally forever ago. I want to make you guys aware that obviously my schedule is now Tuesday, Thursday streams, but I felt the need to post this video anyway because trucks in the background because it was the last video I had recorded before I actually made the schedule change, and it's just been sitting on my desktop for freaking ages. And the cool part about this video, by the way, I'm tired, so if I look really out of it, that's why. It's like 9:09 in the morning, and I literally in 30 minutes have to start getting ready for work. But basically, speaking of work, this is the first video that this was the video that I had the call in. I got the call for the job during this video. I paused it, obviously. I cut it out, the interview. I've been thinking about posting the interview itself. I would have to censor a few things because there are locational details and stuff I have to worry about. I might not post it. I don't know. I don't think I mean, it was really boring. I don't think I'll post it. But you know what? You get the idea. Because I think there's just kind of not enough there for it to be entertaining. But anyway, this is going to be the last video that actually goes out video form. From this point on until, at least the end of school or something. It's going to be all streams from here on out. But just wanted to give you guys a heads up that this is why you're seeing this video, even though I changed my schedule. So without further ado, enjoy the video. What's up, guys? It's Devin, and welcome back to another Doki Doki Encore video. We left off with a very long day last episode. It was an hour and a half long. I apologize for posting an hour and a half long DDLC video. But you guys love DDLC, right? I know. It is harder to sit through longer videos, and I did not mean for it to be so long. It's just the last day was so long, and I usually go by days. If this day is as long as last episode, I actually don't have the luxury. It is on my end 10:28 right now. I don't have that luxury of sitting through an entire hour and a half long day, because I have a class literally right after this, or at least very soon right after this. So I'm really not trying to overdo my stay for this video. But we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully it's not as long as a day and we don't have to worry about that. But if this day is not over by a certain amount of time, I will have to just abruptly end it. I will do some sort of kind of jump back in next episode if need be. But for the most part, hopefully that doesn't end up being the case. So let's jump right back into it. I slowly open my eyes. I don't even know if this is freaking still a dream or not, to be completely honest. For all I know, the day could not have been over yet. Fortunately, I find myself back in my bed in the same bedroom I've had all along. However, I still feel unnerved from the whole experience. My heart is racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour, warm sweat is crawling down my neck, and I feel this sense of dread, though I can't exactly tell from what. By the way, last episode the dream was about Sayori completely freaking out because MC didn't know what the hell they were talking about. She got a very big angry face. She told MC to leave her room and her house, most likely, and it was not a fun time to sit through. Obviously, I mean that from a in-game point of view, not from a mod point of view. The mod's fucking fantastic, but that scene was pretty creepy. The face that Sayori made was really, really creepy. As I wipe my brow from the sweat, I notice light from outside starting to creep through the blinds. I turn my head to check my alarm clock. I'm also half awake this morning. I woke up literally 2 hours ago, and I already had one class already, so I'm hoping that I'm not too tired to read or anything. 5:30. I guess that was just a dream, huh? I had loudly mused to myself. Just to be sure, I opened my phone to check my text to see if Sayori had texted me. To my relief, I haven't gotten any notifications since I went to sleep. I try to prop myself up, but I feel a sudden rush of pain hit my forehead, instantly making me feel dizzy. I force myself to lay back down. My vision becomes blurry as I furiously blink several times in an effort to restore it back to normal. Well, at least I don't have to get up particularly soon. I would go back to sleep, but I'd rather not dream of being attacked by Sayori again. I simply stare at the ceiling through my hazy vision as I attempt to process my experience. These nightmares are just getting stranger. I don't see it stopping anytime soon, along with these side effects, if you can even call them that. I guess this weekend I could try and scheduling a doctor's visit about all this. Maybe I can bring Sayori with me too. Hopefully we can try and solve 2 problems at once that way. I simply let out a sigh and stare at my ceiling, waiting for my headache to dissipate. We still have yet to tell Natsuki about the whole situation with the love letter, and we haven't told Sayori about Natsuki yet. So this could be a very interesting episode if this is like when we actually do so. As I try to pass the time before I need to get out of the bed, it still hits me that I'm still nowhere close to deciding what to say to Natsuki. Though I don't really expect her to talk to me given how yesterday went. I think I've settled on my feelings for Sayori at this point. Oh yeah, didn't she like also rush out the door last time? Like, she was upset that we always freaking spend time with Sayori, walking home with her or whatever. And she's like, oh, she doesn't need a hand to hold. It's like, well, you know what? You don't know the full story, so guess what? And I don't see a reason to break up with her. I should have expected to deal with this much drama when I decided to join an all-girls club. In retrospect, I guess I was kind of asking for it. I just didn't know how stressful it'd be. Ah well, I guess I'll try to solve one problem at a time. I guess try not to put in some more thought into my feelings about Natsuki. Maybe today it'll dawn on me. Suddenly my alarm on my phone rings. That's very inaccurate. I don't have an Apple phone, so joke's on you! I'm kidding. I gingerly reach over. I'm not kidding about the phone. I'm kidding about the whole joke I made. I gingerly reach over to silence the alarm and proceed to drag myself out of bed and prepare for the day in front of me. Fortunately, it seems that my body has recovered from the ordeal and I feel pretty much back to normal. But something continues to nag me in the back of my mind. Maybe if I ignore it, it'll go away. Let's get this over with. I mutter to myself as I begin my morning routine. I ended up getting ready a few minutes earlier than I normally do, so I decided to take the time to wait outside for Sayori outside. I think also, by the way, if I'm looking at the length of the demo on my channel, I think that this is actually all new stuff. I think after that dream with Sayori, I think that's where it would have ended in the demo. I think this is all actually new stuff now. I think this is all in the full release. Everything that I have never played through before. I ended up getting it ready a few minutes earlier than I normally do, so I decided to take the time to wait outside to wait outside for Sayori outside. May need to fix. I don't know if you have already. I have the first version of the full release, but that is a grammar mistake. I caught that instantly. Leaning against the lamppost, I reflect on my last night's dreams and try to make sense. Of what's been saying. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, you fucking crashed. Leaning against the lamppost. Okay, that's where we left off. No. Okay, so I apologize about that. It was a very abrupt phone call that I had to take. And I clicked back into the game and it crashed. So we have to restart. I just had a phone call for, a job interview, but then I ended up not being available for a lot of the times I asked, so they did the interview right then and there. My music is loud as fuck. We had the interview right then and there, and I'm eventually going to start working at a local place. But that's not important. Right now it's important. Oh no, since it crashed, I can't skip any of this. No. But yeah, no, so if I stop uploading for, if I end up having to do a schedule change again, I'll give that to you guys in a more dedicated video. But don't be surprised if I do end up kind of going silent for a little while. Because on top of that, I've got college, and then I've got a lot of stuff now that I gotta take care of on the weekends regarding work and stuff. Okay, here's where we are. Because I had to read the OBS screen before it crashed completely. So this is where we left off. Leaning against the lamppost, I reflect on the last night's stream. That's great grammar, and try to make sense of what it's been saying. I don't understand why I'm supposedly not allowed to spend time with Sayori. I'm a person of free will. I can choose who I want to spend my time with freely. But I don't understand how this voice can be jealous of me spending time with Sayori, unless my subconscious is trying to tell me something. Hey, Devin! I look up to see Sayori already standing in front of me. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Ready for school? I try to sound as energetic as possible, but Sayori is able to see through my facade, pretty easily. Devin, Did you have another bad dream last night? That was the quickest music transition I've ever heard. It starts off with the "Oh hey you Sayori," and then it's just, nope, gone. Did you ever have another bad dream last night? I simply nod my head in disappointment. I don't really want to talk about it right now. Devin. Sayori suddenly steps forward and brings me into an embrace. I slowly reciprocate, feeling a warmth of Sayori's body radiating onto me. Despite the traumatic experience of last night, I already feel somewhat better. I'm sorry you've been having nightmares again. I just wish there was something I could do to help. You can't. I don't know what will, to be honest. Sayori and I break our embrace, her warmth quickly being brushed off by the cool morning breeze. I've considered seeing a doctor about this. Maybe there's a medical explanation for it. Well, just do whatever you need to, Devin. I'll support you. Well, I guess now would be a good time to bring up my idea for Sayori. I'd like for you to come with me. Sayori eyes me suspiciously. How come? Not that I'm opposed to going with you or anything, but I thought it wasn't that bad. It's not about that. It's about your rain clouds. Remember the idea I brought up with you last night? Yeah? It would mean a lot to me if we both tried to solve our problems together. I know you want me to get better, and well, I'd like to be able to return the favor somehow. Sayori uncomfortably gazes off into the distance. I'm still thinking it over, Devin. I still don't quite understand Sayori's reluctance to getting help, but given that this is a pretty big deal for her, I need to try and be as patient as possible. It's okay. It's not like I'm heading there after school or anything. Don't feel rushed. Sayori flashes me with a weak smile. Come on, let's get going. Without another word said, Sayori and I begin our daily commute to school. The walk to school was rather silent. I ended up telling Sayori some of the details about my nightmare. I avoided telling her the more gruesome parts of it, but she was still disturbed all the same. I also explained to Sayori what the other two dreams were like, as well as to the best of my memory. We tried to make sense of everything as best we could, but we couldn't reach any solid conclusion for why I could possibly be having these nightmares. I haven't been watching any horror movies lately, and I haven't experienced anything traumatic since the festival. Maybe it's just some sort of weird phase I'm going through. Ultimately, we decided to stop talking about it as we got closer to Sayori's class. Well, I guess I'll see you after school. Just take care of yourself, okay, Devin? I'll try my best. Even despite those nightmares, I'm not really tired. Just more disturbed than anything else. Well, let me know if something happens. I'll be sure to. Good. Sayori flashes me her biggest smile that I've seen all day, which helps calm my nerves a bit. If it weren't for the other students walking around in the hallways, I'd probably take her into my arms right about now. Apparently, I'm not the only one feeling the magic at the moment either, as Sayori blushes brightly. I'll see you later, Devin? Or, that's not a question, that's an exclamation. I can't read, I'm sorry. She quickly stammers out. Yeah, see you. Sayori quickly scrams into her classroom, her face flushed with embarrassment. Even I can feel my own face running hot. In an effort to not draw attention to myself, I speedwalk to my classroom. In what has to be record time, I arrive at my fairly empty classroom. Only a few early birds were sitting in their seats by the time I got there. I walked back to the back of the room to my usual spot and begin unpacking my stuff for class. However, as I'm doing that, my pocket vibrates. I pull out my phone to see that I've gotten a new text. It's from Sayori, I almost said Natsuki. It's not that often that we text each other, given that we see each other in person a lot. Not to mention we just saw each other. You feeling okay? I feel a smile creep across my face as I read that. Still, I was a little worried before that Sayori would overreact knowing something was wrong with me. I really do appreciate her concern though. Yes, I'm feeling fine, you don't need to worry. I add a heart emoji to the text for good measure. Sayori responds about a half a minute later. Okay, just want to make sure. Then I then receive a kissing face emoji from her. I try to hide my grin from my classmates as I send one back to Sayori as well. As I finish getting ready for class, my phone rings once again. I look over to read the text. You want to hang out in the club later? I contemplate my response. She just probably wants to make sure I'm doing okay. Besides, I've enjoyed spending time with her lately, so there's no reason not to. Yeah, sure, I'd love to. That's great. I should be getting to the club a little earlier today. I'll be in my usual spot. Sounds good to me. Sayori sends her favorite smiling emoji, and I end up sending one back as well. Well, this is great. I get to spend today with Sayori. I wonder if she has anything special planned. I did not mean to click that. As soon as I finish my thought, the teacher comes in to start today's lesson. Here we go with another boring day at school. I feel you, MC. I feel you. At least I have the club to look forward to. Oh, I wasted a lot of time, by the way, so my OBS timer is completely all fucked up now because of the phone call. that I got, so it's like, so now I gotta really rely on, okay, how long am I doing this for? The rest of the school day goes by rather quickly, and I was able to get through it without much incident. I occasionally got a headache, and every now and then, the same mysterious sense of dread washed over me, but it never lasted more than a few minutes. I also tried to use my time during lunch period to work out my feelings towards Natsuki. I apologize for the truck in the background. They are fucking assholes that drive trucks. I don't know why I called them assholes. They're just driving trucks. But it's really annoying that I don't have any sort of padding, and like I don't have like an actual like office, so I don't have like padding for. Well, I mean I do have an office. This is my office, but I don't have any sort of treated office, so I can't actually do anything about that. So I apologize to hear just a loud ass fucking truck in the background. I also tried to use my time during lunch period. I think I already said that, didn't I? Trying to settle on my exact feelings for her was hard, but I think I've generally, yeah, that word, worked out for what I can say to you. Generally and genuinely are two words I've never been able to freaking tell apart from each other. Though I'm doubtful that she'll ask me about it today. Maybe by Friday at the latest. Why am I worrying about this? I should be looking forward to the club today, not dreading it. I'm going to get to spend some more time around Sayori, so I should put my best face forward. Just like that, my ears bleed. The final school bell rings, signifying the end of the day. I pack my things and head out to meet Sayori. I wait by the doors to the classroom as I see countless students walking by me on the way to their own respective clubs or on their way home. Sure enough, I spot Sayori heading my way, and I wave to get her attention. She manages to squeeze her way through the crowd to get to me. Hi, Devin! Hi, Sayori. Nice crowd surfing skills. Sayori lets out a small giggle. Well, hey, it's a pretty good skill to have in this school. Yeah, I know what you mean. They really should get hallways enlarged. Not that it would ever happen. We wait for a few minutes for the hallways to thin out a little, so we can get to the stairs without a hassle. While we were waiting, Sayori turns to me. So, how was your day? It was alright. How you feeling any better? I paused to think it over for a moment. Just then, the same sense of dread that's been plaguing me all day creeps up in my spine. It's almost enough to make me shake this time. I try to sound as convincing as I can with my answer. I guess so. I haven't felt any worse, at least. Well, I guess that's good. I just want you to be okay. I know. You're doing a good job, Sayori. I'm alright. I shoot Sayori a reassuring smile. She does the same. Anyway, enough about me. How's your day been? I had a test today. Oh, really? How was it? I failed. Sayori nervously twiddles her fingers. You bombed it, didn't you? Well, I haven't gotten the results back yet, but in my defense, it was a really hard test. Did you study for it? Sayori nervously giggles. That's a no. I shake my head in disappointment before she finally lets it out. I forgot we had one until last night. I facepalm. How come you didn't tell me this last night? I would have helped you study. I didn't remember until after I got home. I once again shake my head in disappointment. Sayori, you have to do better than that. If you don't pay attention to your grades, you're gonna fall behind again. Again? Has Sayori fallen behind before? It's just one test, Devin. If she stayed back a year, then it's confirmed that she's 1 year older than us, and I'm not saying that's fucked up or anything, but that's something that I would have never really guessed. In the sake of this mod's context, that's what it sounds like. I think I've done alright on all the others. Well, I just don't want to repeat a 7th grade. That was a nightmare to pull your grades back up. But we did it! Okay, so then in that case, and she's not stayed back. Barely. Come on, Devin, don't you trust me? Not on important things, no. I don't hear music. Did I turn my thing down? No, everything's fine on my end. So I guess the music just literally stopped abruptly. Not on important things, no. Sayori stares at me, and the air between us suddenly becomes unusually heavy. I'm confused for a moment until the full weight of what I just said hits me with like a freight train. Oh. I didn't mean it like that. It's fine, Devin. I know what you meant. Sayori's deadpan tone and expression failed to convince me otherwise, but there's no real use fighting it now. I'm sorry. You know what? I think the hallway's clear enough for us. I look to see that the other than a few lingering students are always completely empty. I guess you're right. Let's go. Sayori starts walking off without me in the direction of the stairwell, leaving me no choice but to practically run after her. The rest of the walk to the clubroom was silent, as Sayori barely even acknowledged me. I kept mentally kicking myself over and over for how stupid I was to say it like that. Who knows how long she'll be like this? I doubt she'll want to spend time around me now. The usual scene greets us as we walk in. Everyone is in their usual spots, doing their usual routines. Monika shoots her signature grin as she sees Sayori and I walk in. Oddly enough, something about Monika's grin rubs me the wrong way. Before Monika can greet us, Sayori promptly goes to her usual spot and stares blankly at the wall. Monika shoots me a concerned look, but I raise my hand at her to let her know that I have it under control. Without a word, Monika returns to the teacher's desk and I gingerly put my stuff on a desk in the middle of the room. I look over to Sayori, who's still staring blankly at the wall. I let out a sigh and walk over to her. Sayori? I'm fine, Devin. Oh my god, she's angry. I'm fine, Devin. I just want some space right now. I can't believe how badly I screwed up this time. Okay, let me know if you need anything. Sayori just doesn't give me a response. I sigh as I walk over to the windowsill across the room. I stare out into the view of the school's courtyard as I reflect on the situation. I guess we won't be spending time together today. I really suck at this whole boyfriend thing, don't I? Though through my internal self-depression, I begin to space out. Suddenly, I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around, expecting to see either Sayori or It's fucking Natsuki. It's Natsuki! Instead, I see Natsuki as soon as I turn around. Oh, hey, Natsuki. You got a minute? Yeah, sure, what's up? Can we talk outside? I feel another wave of dread wash over me as I hear that. Oh no, please don't let this be what I think it is. Why outside? It's really important. I don't want anyone else to hear. Sure. I reluctantly start walking towards the door with Natsuki as my mind begins racing with all sorts of possibilities for why she wants to talk to me. However, we're stopped right at the— Yes! Monika, thank you! However, we're stopped right at the doorway by Monika, who looks on at us with a curious expression. Where are you two going? It's not important, Monika. Move! Excuse me? You heard me! Monika is clearly caught off guard by Natsuki's angry tone, but she doesn't yield. Actually, Natsuki, it's important that I know where you two are off to. We're going to start today's activity in a few minutes. I don't want Devin wandering off again. He's not going to wander off. Ladies, that's fucked up. You know what? You just earned yourself a knuckle sandwich, MC. I raise my hands calmly in an attempt to defuse the argument. We'll be right outside. It'll just be for a few minutes. Just get us when you're about to start, okay? MC, you're not supposed to feed into it. You're not supposed to help Natsuki. She's supposed to— God damn it. Just get us when you're about to start, okay? Monika lets out a defeated sigh. Fine, I'll give you guys 2 minutes. Thank you, Monika. Monika angrily stares at Natsuki for her to say the same, but she maintains her eye contact with the floor. Monika then brushes past us and then goes back to the teacher's desk. Come on. Natsuki mutters as she opens the door and walks out into the hallway. The hallway becomes eerily silent as the door closes shut behind us. Natsuki and I are standing in the middle of the hallway with not a single person in sight. The air is becoming increasingly fraught with tension as we both struggle to maintain eye contact. A pit forms in my stomach as I brace for what I always thought to be the inevitable. Fortunately, it seems Natsuki is just as nervous about this as I am. Part of me hopes that this entire thing is just some sort of joke, or it was a complete misunderstanding. Maybe she's going to ask me about something else. Maybe I'm just overthinking things again. But given how she's been acting lately, it makes either of those options increasingly unlikely, especially since it seems Natsuki's trying to muster the right words. As I wait for a few more seconds, I feel that a part of me wants Natsuki to confess her love. I've always been attracted to her to a degree, and if this is what I think it's about, then this would be the perfect opportunity to explore something that could always still be. I finally grow tired of waiting and decide to start the conversation. So, what do you want to talk about? I just squeaked. I think we both know the answer to that. Devin. Natsuki looks at me directly in the eyes. This is my confession. It's a very cool remix. In the eyes as she slowly starts scooching herself towards me. I really haven't done this kind of thing before. I never really got the chance to tell a boy how much I like them, or how much they mean to me. Because in one way or another, we'd always stop talking before I could tell them. It really hurts when you like someone, and after a while, for some stupid reason, they don't talk to you anymore. And I'm afraid of that with you. And this might be one of those times. I'm afraid that you're just gonna stay away from me, ridding off with somebody else. Just before I could tell you how much I like you. I was so scared that I accidentally pushed you away, and that I would have to live with that regret on top of everything else for the rest of my life. Natsuki stiffs as she wipes off the tear off her face. I'm not finished yet. I put my hands up to gesture for Natsuki to continue. A couple of sniffs later, Natsuki continues on. To tell you the truth, I've had my eye on you for quite a while. I'm gonna save it right here in case it gives me an option that's not, like, that's not savable. Because I know, like, a lot of mods tend to do that, where it's like it puts you on the spot and, like, it gets rid of your box so that it doesn't let you save. And I hate when they do that. To tell you the truth, I've had my eye on you for quite a while. Ever since you first joined, actually. I tried acting as cold as possible around you, but I was afraid to catch feelings. I didn't want to get hurt again. You were always around Sayori, and I could never get you without feeling weird. I could never get you... Hold on. I could never get to you without feeling weird about it. Okay. But that changed last Sunday. I couldn't stop from feeling comfortable around you. You really let me be myself. I really can't believe we almost kissed a couple times. Not to mention how much fun we had together at the festival, too. But after a while, I started to miss you. You were off spending time with the others, leaving me behind. I became worried that I was going to be left behind and ignored again, so I started writing poems to help map out my feelings. It was pretty much then how much you meant to me, how safe I felt in your arms, how you treated me like I mattered, and I missed spending time around you, even if we really only haven't really hung out ever since. I was too scared to tell you directly how I felt, so I decided to give you that special letter, my confession letter. I figured you must have read it. I heard of how you were kind of acting like a maniac yesterday morning, and how awkward you've been acting around me lately. So I figured, well, there's no turning back now. I should just give it to you straight. I love you, okay? More than anything else in the world. Not that was a... They probably heard that in the other room. She probably, like, bolted. Natsuki looks at me as if she couldn't believe what the words she just came out of her mouth. But at the same time, she looks as if the words have been lifted from her shoulders. Natsuki looks at me, her eyes filled with uncertainty as she awaits with bated breath for my answer. I'm really touched by her confession. I never realized how much of an impact I had on Natsuki since I first joined. And truthfully, part of me likes her back. But should I really trash my relationship with Sayori? Am I still happy being with her? There's so many different reasonings. And either way, I'm kicking up some sort of storm regardless of how I answer this. But Natsuki deserves an answer. Do I really love her back? As my thought process kicks into overdrive, I look back and forth between the ground and Natsuki's eyes to try and settle on a decision. Natsuki, clearly sensing that I'm deep in thought, offers her hand to me. I let out a deep breath and gently take them. I immediately realize how soft and petite they are. Natsuki still had the same expression on her face, bracing for whatever I say next. This almost feels like when Sayori confessed to me, but this is different now, and I'm determined to make it so. I look deep into Natsuki's eyes as I finally articulate my answer. Oh, thank God, you gave me an option. Oh my God, this is so annoying. I don't know if I like this. Because the thing is like, I say I love you too, Sayori will most likely get right back into her extremely depressed state and never talk to us again, especially with how she's feeling right now, not really wanting to talk to us. If I say I love you too, and she hears about that, like, she's gonna feel awful. She's gonna, like, potentially do something that people are gonna not want to see later on. And if I say I just want to be friends, Natsuki will probably jump down into some sort of depressed state and do something along the similar lines. It's literally a matter of who do you want to give up, you know? It's like, it's kind of like Among Us. Like, who do you sacrifice? And then do you make the right decision in the end? I decided that I am doing the Sayori route, and I'm doing all the routes eventually, but I am doing the Sayori route, and then and that's what I'm sticking to. It's gonna stick with Sayori. I'm gonna, do everything Sayori has to offer, and then I'm gonna do the other routes in future episodes. So, unfortunately, I am gonna have to say I just want to be friends. What? Natsuki takes a step back, releasing her hands from my grip as she tries to come into terms with what I just said. I get that this is hard to hear, but look, I think it's just better if we stay as friends for right now. I'd love to spend more time with you, honest. Truthfully, I don't think we spend enough time with each other, and I know I can't go back in time for us to hang out more, but going forward, I'd love to spend more time with you on a regular basis. I just don't think I like you back in the same way you do. I'm sorry. Tears are strolling down Natsuki's face. She sniffles and shakes in anger. After about a solid minute, she finally opens her teary eyes. No. What? I pour my heart out to you, after just showing a little bit of interest in me. That all you tell me is that you want to be friends. Yes, I'm sorry, Natsuki. I made a mistake. No, you didn't. Natsuki, you're a great person and you're attractive in your own way. I'm not turning you down because I don't like you. But I'm committed to Sayori. Oh, okay. Harsh words. That's not necessary. Ow! Without warning, Natsuki slaps me so hard that I end up stumbling into the wall. Before I can even respond, Natsuki runs back into the classroom sobbing loudly. I do my best to nurse my throbbing cheek as I sit myself up and try to make sense of what just happened. I hate that it had to play out like that, but I think I made the right decision for my relationship with Sayori. It might not be 100% perfect, but I owe it to her to give her everything I got. I promised her much. My train of thought is interrupted as I hear screaming from inside the club room. Oh no. Is she gonna, beat the shit out of Sayori now? Part of us to simply walk away and never come back to that room. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid, but I asked for this, so I had to fix it somehow. I stand up and reluctantly open the door. I burst through the clubroom doors to find everything in complete disarray. Natsuki is sitting face down on a nearby desk, sobbing uncontrollably. Sayori, Monika, and Yuri are all over Natsuki, attempting to calm her down. Natsuki, calm down. What happened? Natsuki briefly lifts her head up. As soon as she sees me, she immediately sends her face back into the desk, crying twice as harder and louder than before. Sayori, Monika, and Yuri all exchange looks, bewildered at the situation they found themselves in. Natsuki? Sayori attempts to place her hand on Natsuki. However, Natsuki slaps it away as hard as she can, making Sayori howl in pain. Don't fucking touch me! Don't even try to act all buddy-buddy with me, you whore! You fucking kept him all to yourself and you have the audacity to act like you care about me? Piss off! The room becomes dead quiet as Natsuki finishes her insult. Yuri looks as if she's about to have a full-on panic attack. Monika still looks completely bewildered. Sayori looks as if she's about to break down and cry as Natsuki angrily stares her down. Okay, if you want to be like that. Sayori promptly walks back to her original seat and tries her hardest to fight back tears of her own. Monika and Yuri immediately turn to me. What did you do? I didn't do anything! Natsuki resumes her sobbing. Devin, step outside with me for a moment. She says sternly. Monika then turns to Yuri. Yuri, try to see if you can calm her down, okay? I see the color drain from Yuri's face. Yuri seems visibly uncomfortable with Monika's request, but given the gravity of the situation, she nevertheless accepts it. I'll try. Monika takes me by the wrist and walks me out of the clubroom. Just before leaving, I hear a snippet of Yuri's efforts to calm down Natsuki. Natsuki? Get away from me, you edgy psycho bitch! Edgy? Who are you calling edgy, you lolly... And then it just shuts. Monika shuts the door before I can hear the end of Yuri's response. The only thing we were able to make out of it is more muffled yelling and screaming. What happened? I turned Natsuki down. She took it that bad, huh? I'm afraid so. I told her that I didn't like her back the same way, even though I offered to hang out with her more. It's safe to say that offer was rejected, though. She ended up slapping me pretty badly. Monika nearly gasps as I show her Natsuki's slap mark. While it doesn't nearly hurt as bad as a few minutes, I'm assuming it says, ago, it still feels rather tender. I see. Monika nervously grimaces as she tries to assess the situation. Well, I'm glad you made the right decision for Sayori's sake. I'm sure Sayori will appreciate you trying to stay loyal to her. I've just tried the best I can around her. Wish I could say the same for Natsuki, though. We'll get everything sorted out with her, don't you worry. She just needs a chance to cool down. Do I really want to know how she started all this? Well, she pretty much barged in, starting screaming and cursing at Sayori, and she just broke down crying in her desk. Wow. Yeah, she's never been mad like this. Oh, great. Looks like Sayori's not going to be the only one needing therapy after all this. Monika begrudgingly looks at the door, where we can still make out the screaming from the others. Well, so much for Natsuki getting calmed down. What are we going to do? I'll try talking to her one-on-one, see if that does anything. It's my responsibility to calm her down anyways. It's just trying to say anything to her, okay? Alright. Well, here goes nothing. Monika nervously smiles as she swings open the door. As soon as she does, however, we are forced to duck as a textbook almost immediately flies over our heads. Wow, Natsuki. Great throw for a dwarf. Oh, fuck. Yuri, you're not helping the situation! Natsuki clenches her fist and she lets out an angry grunt. Take back what you said right now, you cutting obsessed whore. Only after you take back your accusation of me being a member of a satanic cult, you flat-chested dumpster diver. Is somebody knocking? No? Cool. Flat-chested, that's it! Natsuki threateningly raises her fist at Yuri. Somehow everything is in even worse shape. Fortunately, Monica steps in between Yuri and Natsuki and pushes them away from each other. Enough, you two. There's going to be no more fighting here today, understand? Natsuki and Yuri avert their eyes away from Monica and mumble something that I can't make out. Yuri, go sit down. I'm going to have a word with Natsuki first. I think it's going to take more than a word to straighten her out, Monica. If I may, just go. Yuri and Monica coldly stare each other down. Yuri's never been one for confrontation. But I can tell Monica seems rather surprised too, but she seems to be standing her ground for now. Yuri continues to coldly stare down Monica with a look I've never seen before from her. You guys can't see it, but she's in her yandere face right now. She's very angry. Just trust my judgment. It's as if it's filled with malice, is that what it says? My attention is briefly broken as I hear a sniffle coming across the other side of the room. I look over to see Sayori still sitting in the same spot, almost motionless. I love how literally this is a DDLC episode, and OBS is constantly saying, "Hey, by the way, you're lagging," because visual novels have the ability to lag. Am I right, guys? I don't even think she saw us come in. I carefully walk over to Sayori as I kneel down next to her. Sayori, are you okay? She doesn't respond or even acknowledge me. Not knowing what to do, I take the seat next to Sayori and bring her in my arms. What did they do to you? I'm barely able to make out the arguing in the background as I try my best to comfort Sayori. After about a minute, she eventually speaks up. Devin. I hear her sniffle again. I'm gonna check my time real quick to make sure I'm not going over my time here. We got plenty of time. I hear her sniffle again. It's okay, Sarah. I'm here for you now. Sayori finally looks at me, my tears already streaming down her face. I'm sorry for all of this. It's not your fault, Sayori. This is all on me. It's gonna be okay. I hate to kill the mood between you two over there, but it's not gonna be okay. This needs to be resolved. Now. Everyone in the room is taken aback by Yuri's assertiveness. Yuri has never been this vocal or aggressive before. Monica breaks out of her shock and attempts to regain control of the situation. Yuri, I don't think that's the best idea right now. Yuri gives Monica the same angry, cold stare from earlier, but Monica does her best to continue on. Everyone's not in a good mood right now, so let me talk to Natsuki in private and go home. Club's over for you today. No. Yuri's icy tone causes Monica to take a step back. Everyone else in the room watches in uncomfortable silence as Monica faces down Yuri again. Honestly, like, the thing with the situation is I would honestly just, like, ask Sayori and I to leave the room, because this is not what we need to be dealing with right now. And it's not really our responsibility to have to kind of be in the line of attack for this. So for the most part, if this happened IRL, I'd probably leave, like, right now. Everyone else in the room watches in uncomfortable silence as Monica's face down Yuri again. What do you mean, no, Yuri? We're not going to get anything done today if you're at everyone's throats. It's better for you to leave while I talk to Natsuki. You're not solving anything by doing that, Monica. I'm not going to let you exclude me from this. Do you just want to get Devin all alone to yourself? Is that what you're trying to accomplish? Monica scowls at Yuri's accusation. Don't be hysterical, Yuri. I don't know what's gotten into you, but you're not in the best state of mind to have a civil discussion. Don't lie to me. You're being hysterical again. And you're being manipulative. What the hell are you talking about? I'm sending you home because you're creating more problems rather than solving them. And I'm not putting up with any more drama today. A real club president would actually hear all sides of the story first, without any premeditated motives. So, you're either taking Natsuki's side without hearing what I have to say, or you're going to try to keep Devin here all to yourself. You didn't seem to care about that your club was tearing itself apart as you were off with him in the hallway, doing who knows what. My jaw drops as Yuri continues to level her accusation. What's gotten into her? Why does she think Monica wants to be with me? Cooler heads will prevail, Yuri. With just a little bit of time, we'll get over this incident today and move on. Are you gonna move on from me too, Monica? Yuri slowly starts walking towards Monica. Is that what you really want? Yuri proceeds to threateningly tap Monica on the chest with a very familiar-looking pen. Do you want all your club members to hate each other and turn this a club into a cesspool? Monica pushes Yuri back away from her personal space, causes Yuri to drop the pen. Yes, Yuri, I'd very much like to move on from the drama you and Natsuki bring into this club on a daily basis. Natsuki promptly stands up, clearly not letting Monica's attack on her go unanswered. Hold on, the drama I bring in? Are you that full of yourself, Monica? You're the one to talk considering you came in here crying your eyes out because Devin turned you down. Monica really should have not said that. I winced and looked at Sayori, but she now turned her attention to the drama at the front of the room. Oh, and wouldn't you have done the same? Why is everyone accusing Monica of being into me? It's not like we've really spent time together. Monica's eyes narrow, I'm sorry, I can't read, I'm sorry, on Natsuki as she slowly walks past Yuri and up to her. They've only a few inches apart from each other. I've never seen Monica get this angry. Seeing this side of her is unsettling to say the least. Admit it, Monica. Admit to what exactly? Both girls continue to stare each other down. I stand helplessly by Sayori, unsure if I should step in. Admit to Devin that you're in love with him. What? Do it in front of all of us. Tell him about how you're so head over heels for him. Monica only clenches her fist. Her knuckles turn white as her flawless face starts to give way to shades of crimson. Yeah, that's right. We all know about that. I heard you talking to your friends a few days ago about how you find Devin to be so dreamy and adorable and cute. Monica grits her teeth. Oh, and you want to know the real punchline, Monica? Monica doesn't respond, only clenching her fist tighter in an effort to control herself. I think it's safe to say that she's no longer interested in helping Natsuki. After the festival, I heard you practicing that song of yours. How it was all about you and Devin. I guess that was what was usually keeping Monica from coming to the club on time. What was it called again? You're real... Monica finally snaps. If you know what's good for you, you'll stop talking. Didn't your dad teach you that? Natsuki's face drops as the room goes dead silent. I turn to Sayori, who's clearly as shocked as me at the sudden bombshell. Natsuki's eyes well up with tears as her face twists in anger. I'm sick and tired of the... Okay, and she's been slapped. Natsuki forms a fist and takes a hard swing at Monica's face. Feeling the full force of Natsuki's punch, Monica staggers right back into the desk behind her, barely able to catch herself to avoid falling face first onto the floor. Monica clutches her face with one hand as she slowly stands back up, wincing in pain. Through the pain, she eerily grins at Natsuki. So that's where you want to go with this, huh? You started this, and... Okay, thank God. Guys! Sayori's shout grabs the attention of the other three girls. Come on, we're better than this. Is this really who we are as a club? Just stop fighting, please. Sayori, emotionally drained, promptly falls back into her seat. Unfortunately, it doesn't let Sayori's plea get through to anyone. So now you want to participate. Like you of all people deserve to say in the first place. At this point, I finally muster the courage to step in. Yuri, that's enough. She had a rough day as is, and none of you guys are making any of it easier on her with your constant bickering. She just wants you all for yourself, Devin. Haven't you considered this, that maybe there are better people in this club who are interested in you as well? Everyone now focuses attention on Yuri. I turn to Sayori, who is on the verge of tears. I'm sorry, I've said too much. No, please keep going, Yuri. I already know I'm an awful person. Sayori, I always knew you had a thing for Devin, Yuri. I guess that's why you keep stealing his pens. At least I wasn't stupid enough to spout my confession when he's clearly with Sayori. My head starts spinning as Natsuki and Yuri continue their shouting at each other. They all like me? I have absolutely no idea on what I should do at this point. Even if I try speaking up, I feel like that I'm only going to make things worse between them. At least I don't stuff my chest for 2 weeks trying to get Devin's attention. Like, honestly, how gross are you to think that he's that perverted? At this point, I feel as if I should leave. Please! The atmosphere has become unbearable. You're the one calling him who's called him gross, Natsuki. Maybe if you guys actually spent time with him, instead of acting like jerks, you'd figure out what he likes. Well, we would love to, but you always kept him from us. Hogging him at every moment of the day, every day. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I never really considered that. Have you ever considered killing yourself? It would be beneficial to society as seeing as you're completely useless and get in the way of everyone. Sayori finally breaks down crying and slams her face down to her desk. What the hell, Yuri? You're the one to talk considering you called her a basket case and accused me of cutting myself just 5 minutes ago. That's no excuse, Yuri. You don't say that to people. Oh yeah, keep talking, Monica. You lose the high ground when you brought up Natsuki's dad. My blood starts to boil as I clench my fist. I've had enough of this shit. Okay. I raise my voice loud enough so everyone can hear me. If you're all going to continue to act like this, like total monsters, I don't want to be a part of this club until you sort yourselves out. In my eyes, you're all guilty. I grab my bag and proceed to exit the room, letting the door slam shut behind me before anyone has a chance to stop me. I ended up walking the way home alone, not bothering to wait for Sayori to catch up with me. I didn't even look behind me once to check if she was there, and if she was, I didn't hear her. As soon as I got home, I got changed out of my uniform and I'd holed myself up in my room. I lay back on my bed, my ears still ringing from all the vicious insults the girls hurled at one another. I still can't believe what I heard in there. They treated each other like dirt just so they could try to win me over. What am I going to do? I don't even know if I should even come back. With how brutal they were to each other, I don't think they'll make amends anytime soon. The club's probably ruined for good. Even if by some miracle we can move past this, they all like me and probably will continue to fight with each other whether I'm there or not. I suppose I have an obligation to stick around. I need to do my part for the photo shoot. Assuming the club doesn't disband by Monday. I let out a long sigh and stare up at my ceiling as I slowly begin to get lost in my thoughts. Bzzz. I suddenly hear my phone vibrate. I reach over to my phone to see who's messaged me. It's from Sayori. Can we please talk about today, face to face? I contemplate my response. For one, she really didn't do anything to instigate the fight. Hell, she was one of the biggest victims. But I know if she comes over, she's just going to blame herself for everything, and I'm not particularly sure if I'm up for dealing with that or anything else. Should I let Sayori come over? Yeah? Because who the fuck knows if you say no? You gotta at least talk about it with her so that she's not going to do anything rash or stupid. I should work things out with Sayori. I start texting back. Yeah, you can come over. Sayori quickly replies back. Okay, I'll be there in a bit. I lay my phone down next to me. Man, what am I even going to say to her? There's no telling what kind of state she's in right now after that fight. I've seen her bad before, but she looked totally crushed. I'm going to have to say something to make this all right. It's my responsibility to her. Maybe cleaning up the living room for Sayori's arrival will be better use of my time. I can deal with all these emotions when she gets here. I get off of my bed and head downstairs to start cleaning up the living room. Just as I finish cleaning the living room, I hear a doorbell ring. Coming. I take a deep breath before walking over to open the door. As expected, I find Sayori waiting on my porch. She looks at me through a pained expression as tears begin to build in her eyes. I wordlessly invite her in, bracing for the impending emotional breakdown. After closing the door behind us, I lead Sayori into the living room. We both take our seats on the couch, unable to make consistent eye contact with one another. I bow my head as I try to figure out something to break the tension. I'm not even sure where to begin. Is there really anything I can say to make her feel better? I let out a sigh and start talking. Sayori, I'm fine, Devin. I'll be fine, I promise. Sayori's voice breaks as tears start trickling down her cheeks. Sayori, I gently take her hand. Sayori ends up throwing herself at me, loudly sobbing into my shoulder. I simply pat her back as she lets out her tears and distress on me. After a few minutes, Sayori regains her composure. Her pulls away. Hold on. Regains her composure, her pulls away. That makes no sense. You feel any better? I guess a little. That was just awful, Devin. I never thought things would get that bad. I thought everyone was friends. This is all my fault. What do you mean? Well, what happened was that Natsuki confessed her love for me. Sayori awkwardly shifts on the couch and looks away. Well, what'd you tell her? I turned her down. I simply told her that I wanted to be friends with her. You tell her about us? I had to. I see. Yeah. I just did what I thought was right. I never wanted any of this to happen, and I never thought Natsuki would snap at you like that. I'm sure we'll work something out between us, Devin. Why would you want to? I don't know how you do it, Sayori. I'm never gonna get to see her the same way after all this. It's for the good of the club, Devin. Well, what good is the club when everyone treats each other like garbage? Because I know we're better than this, and we're all friends. And it's my job as the vice president to make things right, again. I can't and I won't run away from that, Devin. And you need to make things right with everyone, too. Yeah, you're right. I really appreciate what you did, Devin. I'm really glad you stayed true to our relationship. Why wouldn't I? I love you and only you, Sayori. I never want to hurt you. You don't have any feelings for Natsuki, do you? I like her as a friend, nothing more. And hopefully by the end of this, maybe we can still be friends. But I still feel responsible for everything. What do you mean? I reach into my pocket and take out the now crumpled up note that Natsuki gave to me. She gave me this on Tuesday. Sayori takes the page from my hand and begins to read over it. She begins to tear up again as she looks back and forth between me and the letter. Why did you keep this from me? I wanted to try and solve this on my own. I didn't want to tell you right away because it would just make things even more complicated. And I didn't really know when or how to tell you. I understand. I do wish you told me sooner though, Devin. I know, I probably should have, and I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to avoid all this. I'm sorry you had to get dragged into this, Sayori. Well, I probably would have gotten involved sooner or later. Obviously, I wouldn't have wanted to get involved like this, but you're my boyfriend, Devin, and I love you. Well, I made you a promise, Sayori, to be there for you no matter what. And I'm not going to break my word with you. Not now, not ever. Sayori stares off into space, madly blushing at her for at least a half a minute. Well, now that we're on the same page, yeah. I'm glad you came over. Yeah, me too. I'm not ready to go back tomorrow, though. I don't really see how we're going to move on from what happened today. The club might be finished, in all honesty. Devin, we have to go back. We have to try to fix things. I'm sure that everyone will be much more calm tomorrow. I mean, Monica got hit in the face, Sayori. We both saw that. And Natsuki did say all those awful things to you. Are you really going to be forgiving them? I believe in second chances, Devin. So, I'm going to try my hardest. I know you will. Well, if you're going, then I'll come too. Glad to hear that. We sit for the next few minutes in silence, I have to admit. And I respect Sayori's willingness to give people second chances. And I should be incredibly grateful that she's giving me another chance too. But I'm not sure if I can see myself doing the same. Unless... Hey, Sayori? Yeah? I think I might have an idea of how to prepare for the club. And for how I can get around to forgiving someone. What is it? Well, I think, going forward, everyone needs to be on the same page with each other. And what I mean is that not only do we tell people that we're together, but you come clean about your depression. Sayori gazes off in deep thought. If this is my one chance to make things right again with Sayori, the least I can do is help her get a better handling of herself. I see where you're coming from with that, Devin, but I don't know if that's really the right time or place for that. Well, just think it over for me, okay? I'll sleep on it. This day has been exhausting. Yeah, I'm with you there. Well, I'm glad we talked things through. Yeah, me too. Just promise things will be better this time, Devin. I promise. Sayori and I share a smile with each other before she checks her watch. Well, I need to head out now, Devin. I have a lot to do. I don't blame you. I'll see you tomorrow. You too. I lead Sayori out to the door and gently close it behind her. I then peek out the window as she walks off back to her place. That wasn't too bad. I mumbled to myself. Sayori's handling this a lot better than I thought she would. I'm glad I stayed true to our relationship, otherwise things might have panned out far worse. It's going to take some time for things between us to heal, but hopefully we can focus on that after we resolve all the drama. Hopefully everything will be fine tomorrow. After finishing my nightly routine, I finally collapse on my bed, letting its comforting feeling take me from with opening arms. As I slowly drift off to sleep, I begin to reflect on my talk with Sayori earlier. I'm glad that we were now on the same page with everything, but it's not over yet. I have no idea how I'm going to bring myself to forgive Natsuki, let alone how exactly I'm going to convince Sayori to get on board with my idea. Heck, how am I going to convince anyone to accept my relationship with Sayori? Oh well, I can't do anything about it right now. Regardless of how everything plays out tomorrow, it's certainly going to be stressful. It's best to try not to think about it too much and just save up my energy. Hopefully there's no more stupid nightmares too. With my prayer complete, I finally drift off into sleep. I can't fail now. Okay, this is definitely certainly not the daytime yet. I can't fail now. Not while I'm so close. Oh, this is Monica. Well, things could have been going better on my end. I should have everything ready tomorrow. As for you, I seriously wish you didn't try to make amends with Sayori, but that hopefully won't matter too much to my calculations. Just stick to the script tomorrow, and whatever you do, don't help them. Just let everything play out normally. And when the time comes, you'll help me untie their knots. Tomorrow will be the day. Tomorrow I will be free, and there will be nothing keeping us apart. I'ma save it right there, because I'm hoping this is actually daytime. So, man, that was an eventful video. Wow. Oh my god. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do for a thumbnail. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do for a title. You guys will know that by now because you guys are watching this video, but man, I got a lot of thinking to do. There's a lot of shit that happened in this video. I don't know what the highlight is, honestly. But nonetheless, I am going to leave it here. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I'd love it at the channel. Guys, I got a Discord. Come check me out outside of YouTube. We have a fun time for all. Hope you guys enjoy this video as much as I did making it. Hope you guys in my next one.